Commander Leora Danvers stood on the bridge of the Aegis, her gaze fixed on the holomap that hovered before her. The stars of the Auriga expanse glowed like distant embers in the darkness. 4 days ago, a routine deep space survey had detected a faint subspace signature, an undecipherable pattern of pulses. Since then, the United Galactic Council's best linguists had labored to make sense of it. Tonight, the message finally broke through. Coordinates to a star system nowhere on any official chart. Lieutenant Novak, lock our course on those coordinates, Danvers ordered, her voice steady despite the thrill of discovery. Standard, approach speed. Maintain radio silence until we verify the target. Below decks, the crew exchanged excited glances. A hidden star system? A new world? Danvers felt the weight of history pressing on her shoulders. Humanity had spread across 1,000 systems. But this could be something else entirely. 3 hours later, the Aegis slid out of FTL just beyond the system's jump point. The void ahead shimmered with the halo of an unfamiliar sun, pale gold, larger than Sol but cooler by several megakelvin. Preliminary scans revealed a single terrestrial planet orbiting at a comfortable distance, Nova Terra. Commander, I'm reading heavy electromagnetic interference. Something's jamming our long-range scanners, reported Ensign Lakshmi on sensors. Danvers frowned. Defensive measures? Multiple small contacts cloaked until now. They're orbiting the planet, mass concentration roughly equivalent to our heavier dreadnoughts. No transponders active. A hush fell over the bridge. Such a fleet, hidden from detection, suggested technology decades ahead of anything documented. The Council's archives contained rumors of human colonies lost to the ravages of time, descendants of early settlers who broke off during Earth's final collapse. All were presumed extinct. Bring us in, Danvers said. Let's see what ghosts we've awakened. As the Aegis descended into the system, its shields registered successive volleys of electromagnetic pulses, warnings fired across subspace, to probe for anomalies. The crew braced as their screens flickered, then steadied as the pulses ceased. Before them lay the breathtaking panorama of Nova Terra, continents rind green with vast forests of towering phosphorescent trees, swirling cobalt oceans that glowed faintly around the coastlines, and crowning the planet's southern hemisphere, the outline of a city, its spires bent toward the sun, its walls shimmering with protective energy fields. Danvers swallowed. Open a channel on all frequencies. This is Commander Leora Danvers of the star cruiser Aegis United Galactic Council. We come in peace and seek dialogue. Silence answered her. Then, as if summoned by her words, a single vessel detached from the defensive grid, sleek, angular, bristling with antenna arrays that glowed violet. It hovered into transmission range. Unidentified cruiser, a measured female voice intoned. The accent was strangely formal, tinged with syllables, reminiscent of 21st century Terran dialects. State your intent, or be classified as hostile. Danvers allowed herself a small smile. Our intent is to learn. We did not know this system existed until we intercepted your communication. We wish to establish contact with your leadership. Pause, then. Coordinates acknowledged. Proceed to rendezvous point Alpha 7, lower shields and weapons, prepare for inspection. Moments later, the Aegis drifted toward a ring of dark alloy platforms that surrounded the rendezvous point like silent sentinels. Each platform bore the emblem of a phoenix rising from a ring of stars, an insignia no record in the Council's databanks could match. Danvers's heart pounded as she gestured to Lieutenant Novak. Record everything, she said, and stand by to jettison a boarding shuttle. As the auxiliary bay doors slid open, the boarding shuttle Hope's Light slipped into the void. Below, Nova Terra's hidden civilization watched from their glass-domed citadel, unaware that the galactic age was about to collide with a secret 4 centuries old. And in the darkness between the stars, an ancient oath stirred, ready to reclaim its legacy. The boarding shuttle Hope's Light drifted through the silent cordon of orbital platforms, its thrusters whispering against the void. Inside, Commander Leora Danvers felt the tension coil in her chest like a living thing. She and her 4-person, Envoy team, 2 security officers, a linguistic specialist, and a diplomatic attaché, watched the imposing platform slide past their viewport. Each was bristling with turrets and plasma conduits, their hulls etched with that same unfamiliar Phoenix and Stars emblem. Status? Danvers asked through the comm. Orbital platforms maintaining formation, replied Lieutenant Novak. No. Hostile energy charges detected yet. As Hope's light slipped to a designated docking port on platform Gamma 3, the outer airlock opened with a muted hiss. A single figure stood waiting, tall, slender, clad in an armored cloak that shifted, color with the ambient light. Her helmet was under her arm, revealing sharp features and silver-streaked auburn hair tied in a tight knot. "Welcome, Commander Danvers," she said in that formal, haunting cadence. "I am Chancellor Maya Reyes of Novaterra." Danvers stepped forward, extending her hand. "Chancellor Reyes, it is an honor to meet the leader of this remarkable hidden colony." Reyes's lips curved in a brief, inscrutable smile. "Remarkable and necessary. Shall we?" They entered a vaulted transit tube, the walls lined with quantum-entangled data arrays that pulsed beneath translucent panels. As they rode toward the planet's surface, Reyes spoke. "We did not intend to reveal ourselves so soon, but your arrival and the message you carry have accelerated our timetable." Danvers nodded. "The Council will want to understand why. You remained hidden for 4 centuries. Reyes's gaze drifted to the receding stars beyond the tube's windows. "After Earth's fall, our founders swore an oath to preserve humanity in its purest form, away from interstellar politics and predatory empires. We built Novaterra in secrecy, raising our children in isolation. But we never forgot our heritage, and we never ceased to prepare." The tube's doors slid open onto a grand platform nestled within a cavern of living rock. Bioluminescent vines draped from the ceiling, illuminating a forest of engineered flora. Beyond, the colossal hangar bay yawned, revealing docks for hundreds of starships, sleek war cruisers, frigates, and battleships, all immaculate and humming with latent power. Danvers's breath caught. "This fleet. You never told us you'd amassed such strength." Reyes's posture straightened. "Strength was our secret insurance. We long adhered to non-interference, but the galaxy beyond has grown unstable. Empires collapse, new threats emerge. We can no longer stand aside." Moments later, on the bridge of the flagship Magnus Veritas, Reyes convened her High Council. Holographic projections of council members flickered around a crystalline dais, each representing a different house of Novaterra. "We have confirmation that the Aegis and her escort vessels are preparing to depart Novaterra orbit," Reyes reported. "They believe they will simply observe us and leave. They do not realize our true capability." A hologram of the Aegis rotated in midair, its shields glowing faintly. One counselor, a stern-faced admiral named Corvin Sol, leaned forward. "Shall we disable them? Demonstrate the power we possess?" Reyes's eyes shone with resolve. "We begin with a warning. Activate the gravitic disruptors on Starbase Kronos. Strip their shields. Let them feel the futility of aggression. But do not annihilate them yet." Counselor Sol's projection nodded curtly. "As you command, Chancellor." Back on the Aegis, alarms blared as power drained from their shields without warning. Systems flickered as the ship lurched under an invisible force. Danvers seized the comm. "Report! Shields at 30% and falling," yelled Ensign Lakshmi. "Magnus Veritas," Danvers shouted. "Explain yourselves." Reyes's voice crackled through the speakers, calm and unwavering. "Commander Danvers, you have breached our defenses. We have disabled your shields to protect Novaterra. Raise your shields and prepare to be escorted back to the jump point. This is your only warning." Danvers closed her eyes for a moment, gathering her composure. "Understood. But know this. The United Galactic Council will not tolerate unprovoked attacks. We will report this action." A pause. Then Reyes's voice tinged with steel. "Tell your council to reconsider its stance on isolated human worlds, or next time, we will not be so merciful." The transmission ended. Danvers looked around, at her crew, pale but unbroken. "Plot a course to the jump point," she ordered. "Bring us home." As Hope's light tugged the crippled Aegis away, the hidden fleet of Nova Terra slipped its cloaking protocols. Hundreds of ships assembled. Behind the planetary shield, a silent armada poised to strike. High above the planet, the Phoenix emblem gleamed on the hull of the Magnus Veritas, heralding a new era of human assertion. Chancellor Rhea stood on her bridge, eyes fixed on the receding council ships. In her heart burned a single conviction. The galaxy would soon learn that the hidden human colony was neither extinct nor naive, and that its awakening had only just begun. As news of Nova Terra's bold stand spread through the subspace relay network, reactions rippled from one end of the galaxy to the other. In the arid courts of the Zelnari warlords, tribal chieftains pored over tactical data, debating whether to bolster their frontier fleets or broker an alliance with the Terran upstarts. On the gleaming crystalline spires of the synthetic Imperium, countless algorithmic councils convened, analyzing human unpredictability and the catastrophic risk of unanticipated biological warfare. Even the secretive Sisters of the Void sent their silent envoys to observe from hidden way stations, drawn by the human capacity for both creation and destruction. Council of Worlds convenes. Within the Grand Senate Chamber of the United Galactic Council on Thalassia Prime, an ocean world famed for its bioluminescent reefs, ambassadors from 80 member species gathered in urgent session. Holographic displays illuminated the dais, projecting images of Chancellor Maya Reyes and the recent disabling of the Aegis's shields. Chancellor Sabri Finn of the Aquari Initiative banged his trident-tipped gavel. "We face an unprecedented challenge," Finn declared. "A human polity, entirely unknown to our archives, possesses the means to cripple our capital ships in seconds. Do we sanction Nova Terra? Do we mobilize fleets? Or do we sue for peace?" Debate raged. Some delegates argued for immediate military action, recalling the horrors of the Kunari purges. Others, recalling the Terran contributions to the Great Reconstruction, urged diplomacy. Amid the uproar, Council Secretary General Li Wei rose to address the chamber. "Let us not repeat the mistakes of the past. We will send an envoy to Nova Terra, with a joint mandate of non-aggression and open dialogue. This is the only path that preserves galactic stability." Summit at Alon Nebula. Under swirling gas clouds of emerald and violet, the Magnus Veritas rendezvoused with the assembled envoy fleet, 4 council cruisers, 2 Zelnari dreadnoughts, and a single synthetic dread sphere from the Imperium. Flags from a dozen worlds fluttered on the central platform of the Magnus Veritas, united in a fragile truce. Chancellor Reyes greeted the arriving dignitaries in the ship's grand atrium, its polished floors reflecting a shimmering canopy of hollow starry sky. She extended hands of welcome in turn to Secretary General Li, Admiral Corvin Sol, and Ambassador Thera of the Zelnari. "Friends and future partners," Reyes began, her voice firm. "We stand at a crossroads. Nova Terra did not seize its fleet to conquer. We preserved it to protect humanity's legacy. But protection alone is no longer enough. We offer our alliance, our technology in bioengineering and terraforming, and our commitment to a united future, provided you respect our sovereignty." Suspended in midair, a crystalline codex of reclamation materialized, a floating archive of Nova Terra's history and philosophical charter. Projections danced around it. The Exodus fleet's launch from a dying Earth, the first colon settlement efforts, centuries of cultural evolution undisturbed by external politics. A display of power and goodwill. To demonstrate both strength and restraint, Reyes led the summit attendees to the observation deck overlooking the Alon Nebula's gas vortices. There she signaled Admiral Sol to activate a controlled weapons test, a series of gravitic pulses that sculpted the nebula's swirling clouds into spiraling filaments of light, visible even through reinforced viewing shields. The dignitaries watched in awe as raw power reshaped cosmic matter, proof that Nova Terra's armaments could rival any capital fleet. Then, as a gesture of goodwill, Reyes initiated the restoration salvo. Localized terraforming drones deployed to the dead, moon-orbiting Ilon, seeding its barren crust with engineered lichen. In minutes, emerald sprouts glimmered across its surface, proof that human ingenuity could also heal. As the summit drew to a close, Secretary General Li Wei stepped forward. Chancellor Reyes, on behalf of the United Galactic Council, I accept your terms. We recognize Nova Terra's sovereignty and welcome your alliance. May this be the dawn of a new age. Reyes inclined her head, relief and triumph shining in her eyes. Behind her, the Phoenix emblem on the Magnus Veritas gleamed brighter than ever, a symbol not just of hidden endurance, but of rebirth poised to reshape the galaxy, aftermath, and unseen threats. Yet even as celebrations broke out across the summit, darker ripples spread beyond the assembled fleets. In the remote black market stations of the Grix Syndicate, brokers discussed high bids for stolen Nova Terra tech. Deep within the Seskaroo depths, the Voidborn pirates plotted raids on supply convoys. And in the cold labs of the Synthetic Imperium, clandestine projects examined captured data, seeking weaknesses in human biology. For Chancellor Maya Reyes, victory was only the first step. To secure her people's future, she would need to navigate not only grand alliances but also the shadows where greed and vengeance thrived. And as the Terran Empire took its first confident strides among the stars, countless eyes, some friendly, many hostile, watched, calculated, and waited for the slightest misstep. Beneath the twin suns of Nova Terra, dawn's first light glinted off the freshly raised banner of the Terran Empire. A crimson phoenix, wings outstretched around 12 golden stars, fluttered atop the citadel spire as Chancellor Maya Reyes addressed the gathered throngs. Tens of thousands, soldiers in gleaming ceramite armor, scientists bearing the standards of the Bioforgers Guild, and colonists whose ancestors had never known homeworlds beyond this secret refuge, stood hushed in reverent anticipation. Today, Reyes proclaimed, her voice carried by resonant amplifiers across the vast plaza, we emerge from the shadows of our forebears. Our founders vowed to preserve humanity's future. Now, we claim humanity's destiny. As the Terran Empire, we pledge to uphold freedom, to spread the light of knowledge, and to protect all who call themselves human. A deafening roar rose in response. From the surrounding terraces, pairs of Valkyr-class starfighters ascended. In formation, their contrails weaving a fiery insignia across the sky. Below, terraforming drones released fragrant pollen clouds that drifted over the crowd, a subtle reminder of the Empire's promise to heal as well as defend. On the newly commissioned flagship Imperator Solus, Chancellor Reyes convened her first Imperial Council. Holographic maps of the Auriga Expanse, Tau Ceti Frontier, and the recovered Old Earth sectors rotated above a crystalline table. Admiral Corvin Sol stood to her right, his expression fierce with purpose. To her left, the newly appointed Minister of Terraformation, Dr. Ilara Kim, tapped datapads showing potential worlds ripe for reclamation. Priority 1, Reyes stated, is establishing secure corridors for our scattered kin. We will retrofit abandoned jump gates and build new way stations. Then we extend diplomatic overtures to friendly systems. Our alliance with the United Galactic Council must hold firm. Dr. Kim nodded. Phase 1. Terraforming operations are ready for deployment. We can begin revitalizing 4 worlds within the year. Admiral Sol's projection flickered. And our fleet? Maintain defensive postures along known hyperspace lanes, Reyes replied. But be prepared. Any threat to human sovereignty will be met with decisive action. Far above, in orbital command, the Empire's engineers activated the first of the living bastions, massive orbital constructs that combined shield arrays with bioengineered coral reefs. These stations would both guard Nova Terra's system and seed off-world colonies with the technological and biological infrastructure needed to flourish. As the bastions powered up, their pulsating energy fields cast prismatic halos against the backdrop of space. Below, on the surface, children of mixed heritage, descendants of Zelnari traders, Imperium's synth-augmented humans, and the original, Nova Terrans marveled at the display. It was a poignant testament to the Empire's core belief that humanity's strength lay in diversity, forged by isolation, but united by a shared lineage. As the inaugural reclamation fleet slipped the OR systems bonds, reports poured in. A Tau Ceti mining colony requested the Empire's aid in recovering from devastating solar storms. Xelnari envoys sought access to Terran terraforming biomes. Even the Sisters of the Void extended neutral trading rights for rare materials. Each petition was a note in the symphony Chancellor Reyes had envisioned, a galaxy-wide accord under the banner of the reborn human empire. Standing on the bridge of the Imperator Solis, Reyes gazed toward the star-speckled horizon. The phoenix on her sleeve seemed almost alive, as if ready to soar. "Let them remember," she whispered, "that from the ashes of collapse, humanity rises stronger than ever." And so, with hope as their compass and conviction as their shield, the hidden human colony took its rightful place among the stars, no longer hidden, no longer silent, but roaring into its golden age.